Welcome everybody to today's webinar. I'm James Chubb, CEO of eDirectory, and with us today is Emerson from our marketing department. Thanks for joining us. We're excited today to talk a little bit about the business model of running an online directory. Before we get started, just a couple logistics. If anybody has any questions, you can just post them into the chat, and we will stop periodically, as well as at the end of the webinar, we'll answer anything about this topic or anything else anybody has. Also, there will be a recording of this webinar available. We will post it on the blog on eDirectory.com. Typically, this happens within 24 hours of finishing the webinar. Well, great. Well, thanks for joining us, everybody. To get started, the first thing we want to talk about is just what is an online directory. And essentially, a directory is a guide that helps people make a purchase decision, typically for the types of directories that we run online. Some directories are, non-profit based. They have nothing to do with actually purchasing anything, but they help people make some type of a decision. They have listings that show the available options in the specific industry, that type of thing. And so eDirectory, the platform that we offer, is a platform to create online directories and make all this very simple to set up an online directory. So there are a lot of different types of directories. A big one is local guides, city guides, travel guides, that type of thing is a big type of directory. Also B2B, business to business vendor directories for specific industries. These may be insurance, pharmaceutical, manufacturing, that type of thing. Also niche industry directories, lawyers, doctors, contractors are a big one. It's really tough to find a good contractor, and you can provide a lot of value doing that type of thing. Weddings, travel, basically any subject you can think of, you can put it in a niche and then make an online directory that helps people make a purchase decision. Also, directories work well that are curated for certain groups, certain people that have certain types of interests. These could be anything, but an example may be people that are really interested in sort of like luxury items or family friendly, that type of thing. But there's all sorts of groups out there that you can possibly think of to do directories. So lots of different options for that. The business model, the advantages of the business model, it's actually one of the very best business models in online media, interestingly. And part of the reason for that is the first thing is the value. Anytime you're running a business, you need to provide value to your consumers. So the value you're providing is helping people make a good purchase decision, and that's of a lot of value to people. The second thing is it's actually a business where there's a very low cost to set up and maintain it. And part of the reason for that is there is user-generated content behind where the listings, people can go in and add their own listing and maintain their own listing. Also, a lot of the value in the content is behind the reviews that people offer. So you have a bunch of business listings and then people go in and add reviews and ratings to them. And that content doesn't cost you anything to produce. So it's a pretty good model. Also, the content doesn't go stale very quickly. So if you think about other types of media businesses, like say television, for instance, television needs brand new content every minute. It's very, very expensive to produce. You need camera crews, etc. They're all probably union crews. It's just very, very expensive, and the content goes stale. Even a local news site or a newspaper site, they need new articles every day. And even a classified site, when you think about it, jobs, cars for sale, that type of thing. The job gets filled, the car gets sold, and so very quickly that content goes stale after a couple of weeks. Whereas a directory of a business guide of some type that content doesn't go stale. It stays for a very long time and can provide a lot of value for people. So it's really a great business model. And at the end of the day, if it's set up right and running well, it could be very high margin recurring revenue. And I just saw Daniel joined us. He's our director of operations. So welcome here. And great. So one of the big ways that you're actually providing value when creating an online directory is through the curation that you're doing. And basically you identify who your audience is and what they're looking for. And so your audience may be, oh, they're interested in a certain area for like a local guide. Or if it's for a certain group, like, oh, they're looking for something luxury or family friendly, you understand that. And so you're able to curate the content accordingly. And the value with the curation actually is often in what is not included. What you're taking out or maybe not recommending is often the real value in that. But the data today on the internet is everywhere. You know, the business listings, et cetera, they're all over the place. And so what you need to do to provide value with your site is doing a really good job at curating and making sure that you're helping people make the good purchase decision. You know, you're recommending what's of value, et cetera. So the basics of this business of setting up and running a online directory, it's not really all that complicated. There is some work to it, of course, and but after you get it up and running, the sort of the recurring basis works pretty well. So the first thing you got to do is just build your initial content. And how do you do this? Well, the first thing is starting with the data. Obviously, your listing data. So you figure out what your subject matter is, and then set a goal. You know, first the goal is on the individual listing. Which fields do you want to show people? What fields are available? And when you say fields, it's like a business. You know, what kind of business is it? How, you know, how many different options they have? What products do they sell? How long have they been in business? Whatever else, photos, videos, whatever else you can possibly think of to help. And so set a goal. Okay, the individual listing is going to have this involved. And then the second piece of that is thinking about how many listings are available, how many are out there. And so basically you need to set a goal in terms of what we're going to have in the individual listing and then how many total listings we're going to get with that. And then you need to go out and get that data. And so acquire your database. And how do you do that? There's a number of ways. There's data companies that sell data, organizations where you can go out and make a partnership and get a database. You can manually build it. And this is actually a really great way that I typically recommend to start for people, where you basically go out to Google and just, you know, do Google searches, build a spreadsheet, and then you can import it into our product where the listings are all created. In addition to that, there are scraping tools where you can go out and scrape different other websites. You need to be careful about copyright when you do that, of course. You don't want to put up copyrighted information on your site, but typically address, name, business name, contact info is not copyrightable. So acquire your database. After you have your data, you really need to build it out. Try to get your fields looking good. Try to get the listings looking really good. Images, descriptions, videos, whatever else to get things running. And then also just to make the site look great and really help people make a purchase decision, there's related content. So articles, blogs, you know, event listings, if there's events, you know, related to whatever your subject matter is, whatever other content you can think kind of goes around it. So at this point, you've sort of built your initial site, your initial data, your content, et cetera. And then the next general phase on this is just building your audience, getting that running and getting people to come and visit your website. And so how do you do this? And you know, honestly, at the end of the day, this is a grind and you just need to go and put the work in. And so you got to drive traffic. You got to bring people in to see what you're producing, your content. And so the first thing is just starting with great content. I mean, it's really easy to go and get some database just imported, and now you have a site with a bunch of listings. But really, the quality of it, is your site helping people make a purchase decision? And if it's not, probably go back and do a little bit more work. Think about it. Think about it a little bit. But great content at the end of the day is what's going to make you win. In addition to the content, search engine optimization is important, especially with the category structure around your listings. There's a lot of different synonyms, keywords, etc. Building out content around just the main category name, names, locations, etc. With that, there's guides online. You can go to moz.com. Is a SEO tool that has a bunch of nice guides on their website. You could go there to learn about that. That'll help drive some traffic to your website. And also, at the end of the day, Google, looks very highly to the links of other people coming into your content. So if you can get the listing owners to link into their listings, create badges, there's a bunch of different ways to do that. That works pretty well to get people to link into their listings. That'll help drive you up in the search results and generate more traffic. Also, newsletters, produce content for your newsletters, send those out to people. The newsletters will drive traffic to the website. You can post part of the article in the newsletter and then drive them into the site to read the rest of it. And of course, social media as well, very important. There's a whole bunch of different social media outlets today, from Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, whatever else you can possibly think of, where people are that are looking for something to do. They'll see your content and then come to the website. So after you have that going, you're building an audience. The next piece of it often is just reaching out and engaging businesses. These are typically the listing owners with that. And so eDirectory has a feature where you can claim your listing. And so the business owner, you can send them an email and say, hey, you're part of our guide. Do you want to claim your listing? They can click a link, go through and claim it. You can have a engage with your directory. They can see the reviews, see information coming. They'll receive your newsletters, etc. And then they can read and respond to reviews that come in for the listing, etc. And at that point, once they're engaged, then you can upsell them from a free, going from free to sort of paid listings at that point. And so there's a bunch of different ways. Typically, you'll need to contact them more than once. That's just the norm in the sales process. But hey, you have a free level listing. Do you want to upgrade? With the upgraded listing, you'll have a bigger profile. You'll show up at the top of the search results, et cetera, with that. And then in addition to that, one other thing we recommend is bundling other services in with your listing. Whatever else you can think of selling, whether marketing services you may be able to offer. At the end of the day, you're bringing these customers visibility. And so it sort of fits in with marketing service, but you can bundle other things that have nothing to do with marketing as well. We've seen a lot of customers do video creation and producing photos. You can go out to a business and take, say a restaurant, take photos of the different plates or products if it's a store, or just testimonial videos often are great. They help people make a purchase decision. Website email hosting is another great option. We have a product we're working on to do that, but in addition to that, you can just host email and websites for people through Wix or some other, HostGator, whatever reseller sort of email website hosting, or whatever else you can possibly think of. You and your niche may have something that you're able to do and offer that's sort of different, coaching, whatever else you can possibly think of. Be creative about it. And this will help your average ticket go up when you're selling the listings. And then at the end of the day, repeat. And so this is sort of a cycle of importing data, reaching out to people, building really good content, building an audience. And that's sort of how it all works and how this business model works. So That's the basics of it, I think. At this point, Emerson and Daniel, do you guys have anything you want to add at this point? I see we had, oh, we have one comment come in about, can you tell us more about website and email hosting? So we have a product that we're working on called Page One Sites, which is basically just a reseller website hosting and email hosting service where you can set up sites very quickly for people. These are brochure sites. They're not complicated sites. They don't have a lot of functionality. It's basically a couple page website, and then you can sell those to people as part of a package with the listing. If you're interested in that, reach out to us and we can give you some more information. But basically, you're just selling people a website. A lot of these customers, they're like, they may have a Facebook page or something else, but they don't have a website, or the website doesn't look very good. And so if you can sell that, that provides a lot of value to people, and it's pretty easy after you get it set up. With our product, we actually set up the site for your customers. We have an option to do that where we can just take care of everything, even write some of the content a little bit, that kind of thing to get the site set up. So, but however you want to do that, we've seen that to be a great service for people as well. Sort of agency, design agency services. Another question, what is the best listing package to use when creating curated content before reaching out to the business to see if they want to claim their listing? The best listing package to use. So I think basically what you do before you reach out to the business, it's good if you create the listing for them. And so with eDirectory, they have a listing on there, and you can create the listing, put in photos. You can get photos off their website, wherever else, put them in. And then you reach out to them and say, hey, you know, do you want to claim your business? And then you can update the content yourself. Our product has an interface where the listing owner can update their own listing and claim it. And, you know, you can have a free level and then upsell them and check out. So I hope that answered that. If there's any more questions about that, that's a question from Jeff. Let us know. We can certainly reach out and sort of explain it in more detail for you as well.
James, just one thing to add here is that we can use also that free trial feature to stimulate people to claim the listing for a higher tier. And then trying to sell the highest tier for them.
Yeah, absolutely. So our eDirectory system actually has a trial feature in it where people can get a, you know, you can set the time limit, I think, on a trial feature, and before they need to pay or whatever, they can check out for that. So that's available as well. Comment from Charlene, I'm interested. Yes, we'll have somebody contact you about selling websites and stuff. That actually works really great, especially with the website and the email. It's great for retention, and it's pretty easy to do, actually. So bronze, diamond, yes. So the listings have different levels. You can set the name, you can call them bronze, diamond, gold, whatever you want. Premium, basic, however you want to name them, different listing levels, and then you can start them with the free level and then sort of upsell them. You know how that goes. Comment from Pete, can we get a recording of this? Yes, we'll have a recording available on the blog, and that'll be out within probably tomorrow morning. We typically post it, the recording afterwards. So question from Charlene, when you create a sponsor account, there is a link that is sent to the sponsor. If the sponsor loses that email, where can I find that link? I think actually the link is in the, I think if you go to the edit listing, it's in the listing URL, right? The slug, or it's on there, the listing page name in there, right, Emerson? That's correct.
Yeah, the claim link is almost the same as the listen URL, but there is a /claim right before the listing name.
/claim. And one thing you can do, Charlene, is just go to the listing on the front of the website, and you'll see the little claim button on that specific listing, and then you can just right click and see and do like a copy link, and then you'll have that there as well. But it's a format. And actually, I think if you export, if you want to get a big list of those, you can export the listings. And there's a URL in there, and then it'll be basically like the URL / and then just add claim to it. So hope that answers that. If you create a listing for a potential customer, are there any copyright issues if you use photos from their website, Facebook? Yeah, so in terms of copyright, eDirectory is available globally, and so every jurisdiction around the world has different copyright laws. And I'm not a lawyer, and we can't give copyright advice. Typically images and stuff are copyrighted. Facebook probably had, I think they make you sign some terms of service where anything you post there is theirs. I don't know how that works. You can read them or talk to a lawyer. But typically businesses, they want to promote their business. And so if you think about it, it's like when you Google something, Google puts in a snippet from the website. Google Images has some images in there that link back. And so you're almost like a search engine when you think about that around the copyright. But if you want to get some specific copyright advice, probably just need to recommend you talk to a lawyer that's well-versed in that around your jurisdiction. But most business owners don't have a problem with you taking pictures off their website if you're going to help them drive business. That's kind of it at the end of the day. You have a website program as well. Yes, we're working on the website program is called Page One Sites. And you can go to pageonesites.com and check it out. It's still, we're haven't quite fully launched it, but we have a couple customers on it, helping us work things out. It seems to be working pretty well. So just to let you know. Are there any plans to have custom fields in the classifieds listings? Yeah, so eDirectory has these modules. It has the listing module, the events module, the classifieds module, et cetera. And what we're actually doing is we're planning on just removing the classifieds module and the other modules as well, and making everything sort of a listing. And then the listing will have classifieds, and and then you can make it like an event or whatever with that. So with that, there will be custom fields in the classifieds, and we hope to have that out in the somewhat near future. Not this year, certainly, but it's certainly on our agenda in terms of what we're trying to build to have custom fields in the classified. So yes, as far as that goes. Let me see from Charlene. This is for a sponsor account.
Regarding the link that she sent before.
Where can I find that link? Oh, if the sponsor loses the email. I think we just may need to reach out and show her where that is. If you, Emerson, I don't know if you're able to show her that quick here, or we can reach out to her later to.
I will reach out by mail, but I'm pretty sure that sponsors can use that /sponsors to log in into their account and retrieve the email if they lose password, this kind of things.
Yeah, if they have their login info, they can just go into the login area on the front of the site and then log in, and then they'll get all that info. But we'll follow up with you, Charlene, and just make sure you have that taken care of as far as that goes. If you can note that, Emerson. Okay. Yep. Okay, great. Page One Sites is, yeah, it's similar to Wix. The difference between it and Wix is sort of a do-it-yourself website builder. And so most of these small businesses, like, they don't want to do it themselves. It's like a auto repair, a restaurant, something like that. They want a great website. They spend all day building their own business. And so making a website and all that, they could do it, with Wix, but they want something that looks good and they just don't want to deal with it typically. So somewhat similar, but it's designed for the agency with it. And then our company, Arca Solutions, provides a service on top of just the builder, where we can actually build the site. We have some design, this isn't like a major custom designed, etc. But anytime you put up a website, you want it to look good. So you need some photos. The photos may need to be cropped. A little bit of content needs to be written, that kind of thing. And so our company behind it has we're able to sort of provide some of that service that goes along with it if you need, sort of as a white label type of thing. It has your brand, your agent, your company's brand on it and everything. We just kind of operate behind the scenes. So if you have any interest in that, reach out to us and we'll get you a preview on that if you're interested. Will there be a migration path? I'm not sure. I suspect that means with upgrades to eDirectory. eDirectory, yeah, we have upgrades with it. If you're talking about migration to the website builder, they're kind of separate products. Even if some of the information is the same between the listing and the website. Not exactly sure if I got that question right. So if not, just paste in there and I'll jump back. Could you elaborate about having custom classified and how it's different from the current classifieds module? Yeah, so right now, eDirectory has listings, and the listing module is very configurable, where you're able to set up widgets for how you want a listing to look, set up a template for it, what fields are included. We have a classified module as well. The classified module is pretty rigid in terms of it has these fields and that's what you can do with it, and you can't customize it, etc. So what we're going to do is actually make the classifieds module work very similar to the listings module, where it uses all the same sort of widgets and features and that type of thing, and then you can fully customize it. So we're working on that. Do you have a help wanted directory? Can it be a traditional eDirectory, B2B directory? Yeah, so there's two ways to do jobs, essentially help wanted jobs. One of them is you can use our classifieds module, which we just discussed, and create jobs in there. A lot of people do that. Also, you can use our listing module and create a custom listing type for jobs that includes the fields that you want for the job. So there's two ways to do that. You can make really nice job listings. If you want to see how to do that, I guess just reach out to our to an account executive, and we can kind of give you a private demo and walk you through how that would be set up. Okay. Customers who use page one sites, do they register their own domain name? Yeah, so the domain registration, either you can take care of it for your customer, or the customer can register the domain name themselves with that. And there's some reseller programs around domains, but basically the customer can own the domain, you can own the domain, and then just point it to the website. But it does work on custom domains. For classifieds module to listings module, will there be a migration from the legacy classifieds module to the newer listing? Do I understand whether I should spend any effort using the classifieds module or not? So here's the thing about classifieds. Classifieds are typically fairly time limited. So these classifieds that you put up for a job or a car or something like that gets sold, and so we'll probably have some type of a way to keep your old content in there, but I'm not sure. What we'll do is have the classifieds module that'll be like depreciated, still there, but recommend you don't use it. And then you build your new stuff out and something along those lines. We're thinking about that as far as that goes. We may make some import into listings from the classifieds, but I'm just not sure if there's going to be any demand for that, and maybe our resources can be better used for something else. Okay, let's see. Question from Barry, help me put up a help wanted. Yes, Barry, so to set up, if you have an existing directory site with eDirectory, it's actually not hard at all to set up a jobs directory. Basically, you go into the classifieds module, you can create categories or even just change the whole module name from classifieds to jobs. And then classifieds are available. You turn it on and off in the site manager. We could have somebody from support, I guess, reach out to you and help you do that. So no problem there as far as that goes. So great. Any more questions here? And then one thing I just wanted to let everybody know is that if you want to learn more about our platform, eDirectory, just reach out to us. You go to eDirectory.com, a lot of info and resources on the website. We have both things about the product and also about running the business and tips like that, etc. And if you reach out to us, also we can schedule a demo and a private consultation with the sales team with an account executive. Couple more items came in for existing directory website. Can the page one site still be used, and how would it cost? You can check it out on pageonesites.com. It's a separate product from eDirectory. So typically people go out there and maybe they sell, you know, either they can sell it through page one sites, but they may just go into eDirectory and say, we have basic level, silver level, gold level, and then gold level plus website, and then purchase through eDirectory.com, and the actual setup's done on page one. So you can reach out to our sales team and get some more information on that, how all that stuff works. For the newsletter that Arca provides, does it automatically pull new data into the newsletter? For example, when I was on WordPress, my developer auto-created the newsletter, pulled everything from the site in the past 24 hours. So our newsletter system, years ago, let me talk about newsletters. So nearly everybody that runs a newsletter, runs an eDirectory site, they typically do a newsletter. It's really important just for marketing and staying, in touch with people. Years ago, we actually tried to build a newsletter system ourselves. It was one of our objectives. I'm talking about, 15 years ago, like a long, long time ago. And we spent a lot of work on it. We had very limited resources. The company was very small at the time. We spent months and months on it. And at the end of the day, like we built the newsletter piece. It could send newsletters, you could create your newsletter and all that. And what we realized about newsletters was there's a whole thing behind the business side of newsletters about email delivery. And so if you want to get your email into inboxes, you often have to do deals with people. These are the hosting providers. These are, in the old days, it was like AOL.com in the US. Host email address is Hotmail, which is Microsoft, Gmail. And so you have to go out and reach out to these companies and make some arrangement with them in terms of, spam. Sometimes you have to pay them, all this stuff. And so we just weren't set up to be able to do that. So what we ended up doing was saying, hey, we can't do newsletters ourselves. What we're going to do, we can send the simple, notification emails, but the newsletter stuff, right now we partnered up with Campaign Monitor is what it's called. It's sort of an enterprise, it's a company that sends out newsletters. And so the way that it works is from eDirectory, you can export essentially your newsletter list and then pull it into Campaign Monitor. And so if you want to send a newsletter out, you can pull it in there, merge it, and send your newsletter. So that's how the newsletter works. It's not fully automated, but it's pretty easy to do to keep that list updated. And also, if some people use other newsletter systems with eDirectory, there's a whole bunch of, MailChimp, et cetera, in there. And so they put in a widget, people sign up there, and then that's how that works. For page one site, is it completely different than business listings? Yes, page one sites is completely different. Will there be an upgrade to eDirectory platform soon? Yes, we are working on an upgrade. I'm not sure we're going to have one. We should have one out either by the end of the year, early next year, is what we're hoping. We don't really have, we're not able to sort of publish exactly what's going to be in it. We're still working on it. But it's probably a few months out at this point, at a minimum. If anybody orders now, with the service version of the license, you get a free upgrade included. And with the owned license for 90 days, you get the upgrade as well. So within that time period, we should have some type of a release out. And probably in the next month or so, we will publish what's going to be in that upgrade. Can people who use the eDirectory platform comment on listings from their Facebook and Google accounts? Yes, we have a Facebook plugin that does comments, so you can enable that and do that as well. We don't have the Google comments sort of integrated with it, but we do have Google sign-in. So yes, people can sign in with their Google account and then post there. Suggestion for the new release. Regarding how admins can save time. Yeah, so let us know what the suggestion is. Certainly, any suggestions anybody has about the product, feel free to reach out. Emerson, are you able to post our contact info in the chat? Just for, if anybody has any product feature suggestions, etc., please let us know. We're certainly working all the time on the product, making it better, saving your time, of course, as well. So don't hesitate to reach out to any of us here, and happy to take any suggestions. Okay, well, great. It looks like that's it for the questions right now. So thanks everybody for joining us today. Last call for questions. I'll give you one more second. Otherwise, we'll have another webinar in about 2 weeks, right, Emerson? Do you know what the next one is at this point, Emerson?
Yes, I know. It's tips to improve your homepage. We're going to
Okay.
talk about tools to analyze user behavior, etc., and how to get information, what's important to analyze before touching your widgets and changing your homepage layout.
Yeah, so we're going to do a deep dive on the homepage. It may sound kind of basic, but I think hopefully you'll find it to be a pretty good webinar in 2 weeks. So come back and join us.
Yeah, registrations are open, just to mention.
Oh, okay, great. The registration's already open for that. Okay, great. Is there a site we can see that uses your platform? Yeah, absolutely. Tom, we will reach out to you and send you some sites, etc., that use the platform, depending on what your sector is. So we have thousands of sites out there using the product. And great, yeah, thanks. They offered a beta test, Charlene. Yeah, we appreciate that. Certainly, definitely need people helping us sort of test the product as we go. So thanks. Yeah, thanks everybody for joining us today. Stay in touch. Let us know if you need anything. We have support available on our website, eDirectory.com. And we'll see you in 2 weeks. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.